Hi guys, welcome to CYC. Few new things to notice, new mic, new lights, new hairstyle. Let me know what you think about all that, not the hairstyle. I'm also going to try and do this in one take. Again, let me know what you think. Today I want to talk to you about anxiety and ambition. Not all anxiety is caused by ambition, I do want to say that, but we are all super anxious at the moment, so I do want to give you this perspective, even if it only helps like 1 in 10 of you. I'll be happy with that. The perspective is that our glorification of anxiety is pretty bloody new. Over 100 years ago, anxiety wasn't appreciated, really. You would have been Peter Baelish out of Game of Thrones. You'd have been something slippery and sly and something to be suspicious of. Because what do you want? When will you finally be happy? And most importantly, what won't you do to get there? That was the real worry. So I want you to think of ambition in kind of like life stages. Back then, they would have treated it like a toddler, something to be civilized and something to be corrected. Then in your like grandparents' time, they treat it like a kid. It's okay, still love you and all the rest, but needs direction. Definitely not allowed to run riot still. And this is when hard work would have paid off. This is when you used the resources around you and you made as good as you could make it, but you didn't go too far and you didn't go too fast. Then in your parents' time, that was just blown out the water. You could be whatever you want to be, no matter where you came from, and there's no real time, like you can be a prodigy or you can just be a breakthrough thing within a month or something like that. And that is the naive adolescent stage. And I want to say naive simply because we didn't exactly know what glorifying ambition would be, and we didn't really think about the realignment that we needed to make to accommodate for that thinking. And now we're in the kind of young adult stage where reality is hitting that naivety. And we're coming to terms with the fact that not all ambition pays off, which is demoralizing for many people. But also, we're also coming to terms with the fact that, again, over 100 years ago, that sense when they didn't appreciate ambition, there was a sense of landing, of arriving, of being an adult, of getting the job, and just that was your life. And now we still have that. Even though we have this new glorification of ambition, we still want to land. And those two things don't go together. You cannot be endlessly curious and endlessly ambitious. You can't be the 6th-year-old that's still hungry and still going and have a sense of landing. You don't. If you've landed, you're not hungry and you're not moving forward. If you've landed, that's it. That's what it was anyway. So we either need to kind of reinterpret how we mean landing, or we need to appreciate the fact that we are all now basically endlessly children. Like we're all just endlessly curious and we want to be. And there is nothing wrong with that. That can totally work. But we need to have that realignment. We need to consciously kind of say, hey, we're never going to land. There's never going to be that sense of, I arrived. And it's just going to be ambition and drive and momentum, hopefully. And this is actually what you call either like a scientific mindset or a creative mindset. And that mindset says that I'm going to dedicate my life to this one thing or whatever pursuits you have. And it may never pay off, but it's going to be my lifetime. That's going to be my life dedicated to this thing. And that's like most scientists maybe publish like 1 in 10 papers, and the rest get published in like lower papers, and we don't really care about them. But that's the thought pattern behind it, because they acknowledge here's the difference. Culturally, like as a society, we glorify what a genius is. We glorify Elon Musk, Steve Jobs, Einstein, Shakespeare, whoever, like it goes back. But we do it wrong. We all think that they are this isolated hermit figure that stayed outside the machine and cultivated and crafted their little project, their idea and all the rest, and weren't corrupted by the machine, by the system that came before them. And then they finished it. And then they gave it to the world and it smashed the machine that came before them. They smashed the system. It was the new tide. It was the new wave, whatever. But that's just wrong. It's never what happens. Like extremely rarely, if ever. It's just not what happens. Every scientist, every breakthrough comes from standing on the shoulders of previous people. And I don't mean that in a bad way. They're not elbowing their way to the top. It is just you use the resources available to you, use the information available to you. Even like Elon Musk is a brain to be admired for sure. That guy is, there's only one of them. He has groups, he has teams of people for all of his projects. And again, he has these fingers in a load of different things or whatever. So again, I'm not saying he's the average, but even a true genius, which I think he is, always has people around him and always uses the inventions that came before him. And like, here's one. Shakespeare never wrote an original play. He wrote one, and it was his last one, and it wasn't his best. All the rest were enhancements from previous plays of other people. And he's still a genius. He still pushed the boundaries. He still did loads of things. But he wasn't original. And Steve Jobs wasn't an engineer. He didn't produce any of the actual products. He was a visionary for sure. But he didn't make anything. Elon Musk, I don't even think he's the founder of Tesla. He is the CEO of Tesla, but I don't know. Either way, that's a side point. But the point is, it never happens alone. You might be like, they are the tip of the spear. They get the glory of it. But there's the rest of the spear. There's everyone else that was involved, and there's everyone else that came before them. And the scientific or creative mindset says that you are totally okay with being part of the rest of the spear, part of pushing someone else ahead of you, of still being part of the breakthrough, but you're part of the tide, part of the wave. You are not the spearhead. And that's still admirable. That's still a life totally worth living. That's what you need to get. Like, that's what I think needs to be kind of realigned. Glorifying, or at least appreciating, a life of endless failures, but endless trying. Like, never stopping. That's a pretty good life. If I'm 60 or whatever and I'm still doing these videos and all the rest, and I'm doing like whatever other projects, and I'm just trying to kind of push it and trying to do whatever else, I will be happy. Like, I'm totally okay with that. And okay, not totally okay. Obviously, I want it to pay off and all the rest. We do still have ambition, and there's still kind of self-service and all the rest. But I think you need that mindset if you're going to have a project, if you're going to try to push. You need to be totally okay with failure, because failure is just learning, and you just adjust and you keep going. And that's pretty much it. And by the way, I'm anxious during this whole lockdown thing as well. I do not want to say that I've adopted this idea perfectly and am standing atop some pedestal trying to teach it to you and be just like, hear ye. Like, it's not that. It's nowhere near that. I'm pretty bloody anxious, to be honest. But this way of thinking does help me kind of get out of it. And if it can help any of you get out of it, that'd be great. If it was 1 in 10, it might not be the spear that gets you out of your anxiety, and it might not be the spearhead that fixes your anxiety or gets you out of it, but it might help. It might just be part of the wave, and I'm totally okay with that. So anyway, did it in one take. Pretty much fecked it up at the end there, but we did it in one take, so I'm happy with that. So like, subscribe, because that helps, and makes me feel validation and all the rest, and just let me know what you think, because this is a very new thing and it's kind of a weird sort of setup. So yeah, definitely give me some feedback on this one. Also, it's kind of weird sitting down, as in like it's like maybe it's more intimate or something like that, but like, damn if I can't put as much energy into it, because I can't do the talk and stuff. Do you know? And I don't know, it's way closer to the camera as well and all this other stuff. So it seems like a big change. But anyway, let's not ruin the topic. So yeah, be okay with failure and let go of that need or that want of landing, and appreciate a life of endless curiosity. That is the take-home message that I will also try to take home. So I will see you in the next one, guys. Bye.